Good day, gents. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to construct a simple floor plan. The simple floor plan you have of an office on page 90 of your workbooks. And we're going to go ahead and look at how to do this on AutoCAD. So I want you to open AutoCAD until you get to your the screen that should look like this. Your default color will have a black background or a dark gray background, and your layout should be similar to what you see above. Now, before we start to draw, I want you to hover your mouse on the drawing into the drawing space over here, and I want you to just type in the word units and press enter. It'll bring up the drawing units that you are going to require in terms of metric, imperial, or whatever it is, and millimeters, etc., or millimeters and precision. So here we want to be working in, you'll go to insertion scale, you want to be working with millimeters, and you want to be working to a whole number. That's important. We don't want to have any dot point anything. So whole number and millimeters. So precision and insertion scale need to be as is. Right, press OK. The next thing I want you to do is go down to this object snap cursor and click everything on except for parallel. You'll see that basically what this is that AutoCAD is very clever, it's very smart in predicting where we might want to snap onto lines, where we want lines to join or bisect or intersect one another without us even having to do it manually. Okay, so that is the point of object snaps. It makes our drawing process so much quicker. It must be highlighted blue to be activated. Right, then we want to make sure that our restrictor cursor is on the orthogonal. It's on ortho mode because we are drawing in the orthographic projection here, so that must be on as well. All right, we're pretty much ready to draw here. So I'm going to go back to the picture, and what we're going to do is work with the walls. So we're going to construct a rectangle of 3850 by 3250. Right, 3850 by 3250. So I'm going to grab the rectangular, and you'll see if I move down, that is as I move down, you'll see the white is where I need to indicate my first value, right? So my white will be on the x-axis, have a look, right? So if we go back and have a look at the picture, the distance on the x-axis is 3850 and it's 3250 and depth. So let's go back. So we're going to go 3850 by 3, and we just put a comma. I put a comma there, and we're going to go 3250, enter. And you'll see that it makes a rectangle which includes the whole layout of the external edge of the external wall, okay? And what we're going to do here now is use another command. Remember that external wall is a width of 222. So we're going to use this as a really good command for civil drawings, is offset, enter. We're going to specify the distance we want to offset, and that offset distance is going to be 222, enter. We're going to go grab the line, and we're going to move it in, and that gives us our 222 offset as we see it over here, right? So the external wall in terms of its thickness is done. Now what we have to do is work in this wall, that little bit of wall over there, as well as this distance to the door over here. We're also going to need to make space for windows in both the toilet and in the office. So let's start with the door at the bottom here. Right, so we know it's 600 from the outside edge. Now what we want to do is use the offset button again, but I'm going to, because we're using it from the outside edge, I'm going to click on the external edge of the wall, and I'm going to type in explode, enter, then click on the external edge of the wall, and then press enter. And now you'll note that it releases all those lines from one another so that we can access them individually. So from the external edge of the wall, we have a door starting 600 millimeters in. So I'm going to type in offset. At the moment, it's specified at 222 because of what we did previously. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to type in 600. Okay, we're going to grab that, and we're going to move it across 600. That gives us the first point of insertion for the door. If we go back, we see that the door distance, it is given to us in the drawing, but I'm going to use a distance of 900 millimeters. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to just manually insert 900. I'm still in the offset command, and now you'll see I have a place for the door. What I'm going to do to clean up some of these lines now is I'm going to grab the trim key, the trim button, which is this little icon of scissors, and I'm going to go and trim away all this excess line that I don't need anymore, right? And obviously we've got an open slot for the door here. Remember, we're going to need an outside edge for the door because it's a step in, so we can go and get rid of the internal edge of that wall. So now we've got the opening for the door. Right, so let's move around. The next part we need to create is the space for the window. From the external edge here, we're going to offset across 3, 5, 7. So I'm going to offset, engage the command, and we're going to get it's 3, 5, 7. Enter. We're going to come across 3, 5, 7. That is the first point of insertion from the outside wall of the window. Now, how wide is that window? Let's go and have a look. The window is 2,000 millimeters. So while I'm still in the offset command, I'm going to click on that line. I'm going to run across 2,000 millimeters. Right? Now we have the spacing for the window. What I'm going to do here is I'm now going to delete all the lines that I believe are necessary, and here we go. Here's another line. The reason I'm deleting both these lines, although we would have an inside edge for the window, is that we're going to create the window as one entity. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, so let's move to the next window. We're going to go 472 from the external edge of the wall on the right hand side. So let's go 472. So the command is offset, and we're going to go 472, enter, and we are going to go from the external edge of the wall. Bring that across. That's the point of insertion from the external edge, and the total distance is 500. So while I'm still in offset command, I'm going to click, and then I'm going to type in 500. That now gives me the spacing for my window. What I will do here is go ahead and delete the lines necessary. Cool, there we have it. Right, so we can delete those, we don't need those. Okay, so far so good. And then if we go back to the picture, we've got more to do. We've got this wall over here. Now, we don't have the distance to place that wall, so we're just going to use our own initiative. So we're going to place it, I reckon we'll work it. Let's do 250 off that edge of the window. 250. Right, so we're going to go to AutoCAD, and I'm going to click, I'm going to go offset, enter, and I'm going to specify a distance of about 250. I'm going to come across there. That's quite far across. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to click that line again, and I'm going to move back towards that the previous edge of the wall, and I'm going to go 200. Sorry, let me stop and start that again. I've moved this across, right? Now, in order not to close up the space of the bathroom, I'm going to offset this line this way, the total width of an internal wall. So I'm going to go offset, offset, enter, and I'm going to go 100, enter. So I'm going to grab this line, I'm going to pull it across 100, offset it, and then let's work on a total distance. So let's offset the bathroom by, first of all, let's use the outside edge of the that wall there. We know the total distance is about 3250 for the whole thing. So let's go for about 2200. Let's see how that works out for us. So we're going to go offset, and we're going to go 2200, enter. There we go. So that's good. And then I'm going to set that again back that way at 100. There we go. So now I've created the starting geometry for my internal wall. I'm just going to drag that across. I'm going to drag that across. I'm going to drag these down. Right, that's the outside edge of the bathroom wall. You'll see how it snaps on with my perpendicular. And then I'm just going to stop that. I'm going to go all the way to make sure. There we go. So the wall is done. Now we can go clean it up with the trimming tool. We won't have that line there. We won't have that line. And because they're the same height, that is removed. And then we can just go and clean up the rest of the wall. Get rid of the inside detail. all this inside geometry. There we go. Right. We got one more thing to do, and that's to add a door here. Right, so what I'm going to do to add that door, right, is go back here and have a look. So let's move it from the external edge of the wall. Let's move it 300 in, and let's do it that way. So if we go offset 300, enter, we're going to grab this. Right, that's too far, so let's offset a total distance of 200. Right, let's try that. Okay, that's better. Right, now we're going to offset that 900. Let's just see if that does work. Okay, there we go. So 900 just about makes it. That's perfect. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and clean up all the geometry that we don't need. It's an internal door, by the way, so we are good enough to go and get rid of all those lines. So now our house is, this office is ready to go and add. Let me remove that geometry, delete, click and delete if you don't use the trim command. Now we can go and add all the additional information we need to this. But before we do that, we're going to go to layer properties, right? And we're going to right click here, and we're going to create a new layer, and we're going to call it walls, right? I'm going to change the color to red, okay? And we want to make sure that all of these are on yellow, okay? They should be yellow. I'm going to click, release and highlight the whole drawing, and I'm going to assign to this walls. What that means is you've created a layer, and that essentially means that if I want to turn this layer on and off and see other detail, I can. Turn it on, turn it off, as such. Right, so that is video 1, or part 1, creating the walls. We will do hatching in a video to come. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and add windows to both window slots. Thereafter, we'll do the doors.